Welcome back, 7 days, and we have returned. It's the Bet Online Salute to Troy podcast. I'm with your girl, Candice Davis Price. We're returning. We're ready to get it going. Today, we have the top 10 all-time USC linebackers.
Challenge.
And I want to, yeah, this one actually was a challenge, and it wasn't a challenge so much. I'm going to go and say it like it wasn't a challenge so much of like, damn, there's so many good people that you missed. This was actually a challenge because when you really look in depth of the history of USC football, there aren't very many linebackers like there are running backs, quarterbacks, DBs, and things like that. When you go deep into the history like of USC football, you're like, man, there's not very many linebackers that really like set the standard, like we would say. So I had to work on this one. This list was probably one of my hardest lists. I think D-line is going to be the same way.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the D-line will be easier than linebacks, but when I think of USC, I do think of defense. I mean, we know we ran up points with our offense, but our defense, I believe, wins championships. And as a unit, when you talk about USC, you talk about their defense. So I do think that individualizing a linebacker, it was a team effort. Because when I thought of the linebackers, I initially thought of safeties, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a linebacker.
Yeah, so yeah, this one was a little tricky. I mean, I think this was one of the lists that I don't think you could get wrong, but we could definitely dive into it. So I started off last week. So I'm going to be a gentleman and go ladies first. So Candice, tell me your number 10 linebacker on your list.
My number 10 linebacker, I would say, I know personally, I'd say truly earned a space on this list. He was the USC walk-on, even with notable pedigree, an uncle, huge deal in the NFL, a father, big-time player. That would be Clay Matthews.
All right. Huh. Okay. I will say this.
Tell me he's not on the top 10 with the not. Tell me.
No. He definitely made the list. He made my list. I will say this. I will say this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on my list played together.
Oh, okay.
So 6 people on my list played together. I played with 6 people on this list, but then, like I said, when I went and looked at it, I'm like, man, this just like, yeah, he's better than him. So like I said, it's kind of interesting. I will tell you this. So my number 10 was a field leader. He was reserved. He was also a jokester. People who know him, he joked a lot, but he played very, very good football. He was an outside linebacker. My number 10 linebacker is Dallas Starks.
Oh, Dallas. Okay. Yeah, he was a jokester, class act kind of guy. And to be fair, I could see Matthews and Starks it's definitely team players. I just, with Matthews, it was more or less, I'm not taking away at all. I feel like earning a walk-on position at USC to ultimately become an NFL defensive rookie, like huge deal. But we got to focus on USC. And I wanted to be semi-respectful for the other guys on the list, So to be a walk-on at USC, that's huge. To be an impactful player, that's huge. And my 10th for him only just gives our other players some, acknowledgement.
Yeah, definitely.
Dallas Starks, yeah, he's that guy. He's a good guy.
Dallas was a dude. Like, Dallas was a national champion, multiple national champion. Like, he a lot of people know he was a locker room leader. He was a captain my freshman year. Like, Dallas was big time. Very fast. People don't understand how fast he really was. Dallas was pretty good.
I didn't know he was fast. I think it's so different when you're in class and you're on campus with these guys and then you see them out in the field. But you're right. When I think of Dallas, I do think of more personality than I think football player, but they go hand in hand for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Good choice.
Yep. So number 10, I went way back on this one. This guy is now, I think he still coaches in the NFL. Not number 10, I'm sorry, number 9. He still coaches in the NFL. He was with the Jaguars. He was with the Broncos as a head coach. He actually had an outstanding NFL career, and his USC career is also outstanding. He's actually on the wall of All Americans. He was an All American. Actually, I think everybody on our list made the wall as All Americans. I believe he played in the 70s. SoCal guy. People don't know this, but yeah, I think he's a great defensive mind now in the NFL. But my number 9, I'm gonna go with Jack Del Rio.
Ooh, okay. That's solid.
Mm-hmm.
That's real solid. And again, you gave me a little bit of a buffer. You gave me a mulligan. I am from the Midwest, so I'm like, Jack Del Rio? I should know these things. He made my list too. But I think that's a good choice.
Yep.
So that's your number 9.
Yes.
Okay.
You like it?
I do like it. And I don't know if it's the last picks with the running backs, there was a little bit more tension because there were some stats and there's some personality and there's some Heisman's missing. So there was a little bit more like, and with the linebackers, it's a little bit more playful. And the guys on my list, I didn't know Del Rio, but their personality has a little bit of an impact on their play. So I think it's good choice.
All right, your turn. You're number 9. You seem shaky now after your running back list. Your running back list, you're so confident. Like this is my guys.
I'm be honest. Have you ever heard of Kennetia Desi, Darnell Bing, Desmond Reed? They were my sources tonight, and I sent them who I had, and they're like, C-Ray, that's a safety. I was like, no, this whole time, like, well, they moved him to linebacker in the NFL, and it wasn't a good move for him. So I had these conversations all night tonight about making sure my list was solid because I wanted to be reputable. I know my Lindell shocked the world. So,
did you tell Darnell you were podcasting with me?
I did not tell him I was podcasting with you, but for all of those on podcast world, they call me C-Ray because my name's Candice Ray. So they always say, like, what's up, C-Ray? So I will tell Bing. And I think he was a bit disappointed I didn't know he's a safety. And I was like,
yeah, Darnell was a safety.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, oh, yeah, we're talking about Bing. And like, no, Candace.
We did DBs, but we'll do safeties because when you think about it, the list safeties, there's a lot of good safeties.
That's kind of thick. So yeah. I had Matt Grudegood.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
And again, impactful player. I could look and read up all his stats. But again, these are guys that I was around and I got to see play on the field and I saw them more work together. Grudegood was just an interesting, dynamic guy. Had to make the list, and it was a little bit easier. But yeah, my number 9, Matt Grudegood.
So Matt was there. Matt was another player that was there when it was bad, and then he was also there when it started to get good. But Matt Grudegood was a dog. He was sideline to sideline, never clean at the end of the game.
Okay.
Played 1,000%. Matt Grudegood, I like that. That's good. That's good. I have Matt on my list. I just have him a little higher.
Okay.
I'll tell you why when I get to Matt. But it's like so. But Matt, I like that. Like
I like that side on the sideline, always dirty, for sure.
Yep. So I'm gonna let you go number 8. So we're on number 8. I'm gonna let you go number 8.
My number 8 was Jack Del Rio.
Oh,
that was more, and I'll just be fair for all those out there who are ready to judge me, slide in the DMs, give us more views just because you don't like what I said. Cool. That was more based off of my research, trying to find a good place for him based off his stats and his contributions to USC. So boom, there it is.
No, that is. So I had Jack at 9. You had Jack at 8. So we're not too far off, right? So, I mean, yeah, you got to remember at one time USC was considered linebacker U, but that was in this short time. Actually, my next couple of picks is the people who played technically in linebacker U. So, like, it's Jack Del Rio is a good one. Like, he was a baller. Like, I wouldn't take anything from Jack. Before we get going, I will tell you this: sports betting.
What you tell me about?
Sports betting is the new thing that's going on right now. And if you need a sports bet, you have to go on betonline.ag. I will tell you this. I lost a lot of money this weekend on the Kentucky Derby, but I did play. I did play on BetOnline. I'm kind of pissed because my horse pulled up and he didn't fully go. And the trainer that wanted their horse to win, he placed. So I think he was supposed to set the pace, but I'm upset about that. That's neither here nor there. That's a whole different story for a whole different day. But basketball playoffs, MLB, USFL is coming up. We got all fights. We got everything happening. You got golf. You got the US Open coming up next month. You got another horse race at the beginning of the month. If you want to put your bets in, go to betonline.ag. Use promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV. And we will match your 50% bonus. Tell them C-Ray and Alfred sent you and get that going. So let's continue.
All right.
So I will tell you this.
What'd you tell me?
We're at number 8.
Number 8.
And number 8, I will put it like this. Number 8 through 3, exception of 1 on my list, is linebacker U.
Okay.
So except one person, all these dudes played together. And I played with all of them except 2.
Okay. Well, I played with none of them, but went to school with 7 of them.
So when I said I made this list, like, damn, it's really from one era. Like, yeah, at one point, like, the best linebackers in USC history, like, are all from one era. But my number 8 is, I'm gonna go with Keith Rivers.
Number 8? Are we 7? We're 7. Or no, you're number 8. You're right.
My number 8. I'm going first on 8. So you need to, have you done your?
No.
This is my number 8. Yeah. Yep. My number 8 is going to be Keith Rivers.
Ooh. Yep. Okay.
Keith Rivers from across the country. Keith Rivers from Florida, solid will linebacker. Also rotated with Dallas my freshman year. They played a lot. They made it work. They put him on the field at the same time. Good field leader. Like, he knew where to be, right place. Very knowledgeable player. I can't take anything away from him. He was also one of those dudes that always played hard. He took pride in playing hard. He took that pride in playing hard.
That resonated with him, though, off the field as well. He always had this a little bit stern military. You talked about Dallas being a little bit more, friendly, humorous, still brought that leadership. Keith was a little bit more like this and was a little bit on the tight, but not military as strict, but military as polished. And that was always a joy to kind of kick it with him and get a good, like, Ken laugh out of him, but see him bust some heads on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Keith Rivers, he's on my list too.
Yep. So Keith is my number 8. So we're going to roll to number 7. I'm going to take number 7.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you about this number 7. So I grew up in Southern California, played football, blah, blah, blah. One of the top 2 high schools at that time in Southern California, still is historically modern day Long Beach Poly. Everybody knows them.
No matter in Connecticut know about modern day, okay?
Right. And they should know about Long Beach Poly too.
Oh, they know about track and field football.
Yep. So Poly and Modern Day played in the championship 3 years in a row. The first year, Modern Day beat them. There was a running back that ran all up and down the field on them. The second year, Poly beat Modern Day. Same running back did his thing. They were able to stop them. The third year, they tied. I might have it mixed up. It might be like a win, tie, then a win, something like that. But it was
going to correct you in them.
But they split. So they won, and then there was a tie. There was a running back for Modern Day that ran all up and down the field for 3 years. Went to SC, played linebacker. Probably one of the hardest playing linebackers I've ever seen in college. Like, he reminds me of like Justin Turner for the Dodgers. Just 100% every time you go. I've never played with him. I heard great stories about him. But my number 7 is Matt Grudegood.
Okay, Matt Grudegood. Yep. And I want to say, just even like when you talk about this linebacker, there's got to have been something in the water, because they shared a chemistry that you played with, I hung out with, I peer-to-peer with, and there was just something about just like their true interaction, like that was authentic, that carried over to their play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so their room was like a brotherhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would say that's probably why they carried the legacy out. So let's move on. You're number 7. I'm scared of your list. I think your list is better than mine today. You went and got research from national champions. I'm kind of jealous.
I did, because I was like, I don't ever want to. It's emotional based, like with my Lindell. Like, no, when I saw what I saw, I'm like, bro, straight dog. Don't give him one more year, okay? So yeah, I was like, you know what? So all those people that like to salute the Troy fight on, I went off and got some national champions, got a one from the Wild Bunch, got a one that I got them all. So yeah, and these are people, like I said, I knew. We're 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got Lofa Tatua.
Tatupu. Okay. Lofa, that's a good one.
That's a great one.
Lofa? Wait. Before you do your explanation, we'll go to 6 because my number 6 is Lofa.
Okay. We right there.
So it makes sense. And so tell me why you put Lofa at 7, and I'll tell you why I put him at 6.
First of all, monster on the field, leadership. I did not know that this guy was a transfer, so I didn't know he came from another school. I didn't know he only played at USC. I'm spoiled. The impact that I saw witnessing him from the weight room to play to Howard Jones practice field. And then just doing some research today after talking to some of the fellas, like, bro, he came from Maine? I'm like,
yeah, he went to like Maine or something like that. Yep.
I'm like, what? So it's one thing when we getting these 5-star step on the field, immediate impact players. But we're talking about for you to step into USC, to develop, to do these incredible things. Bro, 2 years? And then cool as hell at the campus, walk around in his flip-flops and like this real cool, maybe say 2 words to you, always supportive. Follow him on Instagram, always showing some love. So Lofa.
Yeah, so I put Lofa at 6 is because I think Lofa is the foundation for Keith and Dallas and Brian and Clay and Ray and all those guys. Lofa was the middle linebacker for those national championship teams, at least for one. So, like, I think Lofa was the one that set the tone. And, like, so after these guys, you're like, all right, it makes sense why you have him there. But, like, Lofa was the one that set the tone. I actually met Lofa in Seattle because he was playing for the Seahawks when we played UW. Yeah, so he came through and he was talking to all those guys and this and that. Like, very friendly, very open up. Like, wasn't larger than life. Like, you run into some dudes. I hate to say this. You run into some dudes who went to SC that came back that's in the league and they were, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, if you didn't know him, like, I can tell you this, like, Dominic Berg, a friendly guy.
He's very
I wouldn't say friendly, but Dominic Berg, like, I met Dominic Berg, and every time he came back on campus, he was like, where are you at? Let's hang out. Or where are you at? Let's go to this club. Just tell him that you're at my table. Like, never met the dude before I went to SC. Great dude. Lofa Tatupu was one of those guys. I'm trying to figure out who else. Powie was one of those guys. Ryan Prodger was one of those guys. Like, so Lofa was like I said, Lofa set the standard for that era of linebacker U. And when he set that standard, like, you start to see – now, it's not linebacker U anymore before y'all come at me, but at one point in time, SC was about to be considered linebacker U because of what they put out and what they were putting on the field. So, yeah, I think Lofa was the one that set that tone. So you having him at 7 and me having at 6, like, we're on the same page. Like, we understand where he is. So go ahead and name your 6.
My 6? Keith Rivers.
I don't hate it.
There's less talking with Keith, more playing.
Yeah.
You know, with the other guys. Yeah, the other guys, there's some other influencing factors. But when I'm like, Keith Rivers, I'm like, damn, his neck, bro, looked like a weapon. Like his whole neck, like,
yeah.
And I'm not too familiar with the linebacker position, but my understanding, being able to read the defense, seeing, his football IQ, I could better understand that by looking at Keith Rivers. You don't got to even know football to know Keith Rivers and to know that he understands what's happening. So, yeah, Keith Rivers.
No, I don't hate it at all. When you look at, all right, so we're 6, 10 through 6, either any of them could be 10 through 6, right? There's no bad place for those people. Like, they're all about the same.
Yeah, it's
not in a bad way.
Next couple, because I like these next few. So.
Well, we're heading into 5, and before we go into 5, we gotta let people know about your favorite new interest that you just learned about, Athletic Greens. So I started taking Athletic Greens early mornings, long days, high stress. I had to figure out what I needed to eat in order to get me through that 9 a.m. wall, because by the time 9 a.m. work hits, when you have to be at work at 5:30, you have to find something that's at least healthy. It's not junk food. and doesn't put you to sleep like all those fast food places does, I turn to Athletic Greens. If you're interested in Athletic Greens, check this out.
I'm interested, Alfred. I'm interested. How do I get Athletic Greens?
We'll talk to Ryan. Did you know Athletic Greens is keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, and gluten-free, and it contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, artificial flavors, or anything, all natural. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 likes. The supplements, I'll put it like this. The founder of Athletic Greens had gut issues. He was spending over $100 a week in vitamins and supplements because of his gut issues. He created Athletic Greens. It's sustainable. It's climate neutral certified for those people. It's also carbon credited, supports Project Go Old Growth and Rainforest. So it replants trees in the rainforest. It feeds over kids, and they donate, like I said last week, $1.2 million.
What?
Right now, yep, $1.2 million to meals to kids in 2020. So that was 2020. With inflation, they're probably about 2 million, about 4 million. Right now,
it's real in any type of money denomination. Any currency.
Hey, when it costs $10 for a Big Mac meal, you know inflation is real.
What?
Yep.
See, that's why I don't eat it. That's why I don't eat at In-N-Out.
Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Salute Detroit. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Salute Detroit to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. We need to give some Athletic Greens to Candice so she could experience this. You get a bottle, a shaker.
Run that NIL money back. I'm still good for it. I got 1 year indoor eligibility. So NIL, here we come. Name, likeness, take it.
All right. We're halfway. We're at number 5. I'm gonna tell you a story about my number 5.
Tell me.
We were at practice one day, and our running back coach said something to this dude and pissed him off. And we were doing the inside run drill. And he said, I'm going to make every single play. And inside run was 10 scripted plays. Like they had 10 runs. He said, I'm going to make every single play. And he made every play. That whole practice, he was havoc. This dude was known for constantly wrecking havoc. My number 5 is Brian Cushing.
My number 5 is Brian Cushing.
There you go.
I'm not even making that up. It's really Brian Cushing. My number 5 is Brian Cushing. And when you said that, when you shared that story, I didn't have that type of experience. But as soon as you said that, I knew that mentality. Gritty, grass stains, grass in his helmet. Yeah, no, I mean, I've been in the weight room with that guy and mad respect. Yeah, no. And when I think you might have used the adjective vicious. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Brian Urlacher type.
Yeah, I had no doubt. That's actually a good comparison. He was a Brian Urlacher of USC. Yep. Like, just reckless. I wouldn't say he was so much. He wasn't so much reckless. Another player I have on my list was reckless, but this dude was more vicious than reckless.
Okay, we might have the same number 4.
No, this is a different person on my list that I have.
The next person, that's what I'm saying. Who's next? So my number 5 is Cushing. I got another reckless monster.
So go. All right, tell me your number 4. Let's go with your number 4.
Straight monster. Only sees red.
Okay.
It's Ray Malaluga.
Okay, I don't hate it.
You don't hate it?
I don't hate it. I think he's higher on my list. He's higher on my list, not by much.
That was our 4, right?
Yeah, he's higher on my list, but not by much.
Okay, and I need to speak to this.
You're right though about reckless. You went
reckless.
You was like, you're right.
And I want to say this because I feel like I'm playing to my fans a little bit with this podcast because I want them to know I'm neutral and I'm not just some rebellion. Oh, well, Candice knew these guys and she thinks she knows better. She don't know nothing about football. I'm married to a nose tackle from the NFL, 31st pick overall. I know what I'm talking about. And if I don't, he corrects me. So this isn't about, I know these guys. But the other couple guys on my list have a little bit more stability to the program versus like you said, this linebacker you. So that's why Ray is number 4. Otherwise, in my mind, like the way he played, the level of connection, his understanding, just all of these in my mind, he has that number 1 mentality. But there's a couple other guys that I think just deserve it.
I got you. I don't think he's number 1.
If you got him up there, then that means cool. That means
yeah.
cool. I'm trying to get some likes. I'm trying to get a fan or 2. You know?
I don't think
as popular as I thought.
I don't think he's number 1, but he's up there. My number 4 is the true hero story that you see on ESPN all the time. Great bloodline. Dad and uncle played there. Uncle is a Hall of Famer in the NFL. Walk on from Agoura Hills. This dude, I think he earned his scholarship because I think he was the smartest and he also played hard. So his effort and his knowledge of the game put him to earn a scholarship and made him one of the best.
This is one of those when talent outworks, when hard work outbeats talent. That's
right. And then he made it to the NFL. Was a big guy. I think you know who I'm talking about. My number 4, I go with Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews, defensive. I mean, I feel like he was like a defensive rookie player of the year or something. Like
no, Brian Cushion got it. They came out the same year and they gave it to Brian Cushion.
Wow.
But I think Clay Matthews has a Super Bowl though.
And Cushion just got torn biceps. Let me stop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Cushion, my guy. Just saying. But yeah, he does have a Super Bowl. To be a walk-on and to have a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So this is how good Clay was. My sophomore year, they had to make sure that Ray, Keith, Brian, and Clay were all on the field at the same time. So they created a position for Clay so he could be on the field and he not lose reps because he needed to be on the field at the same time.
That don't even sound fair. And low-key sounds like the Avengers. Like the good Thanos. Like that sounds like Infinity Rings right there. You feel me?
And so we just named Ray, Kush, Keith, and Brian. Ray, Keith, Kush, and Clay, right? And we already named 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
On our list. So that's what I'm saying. Like
Clay's doppelganger is Thor.
And Clay was the one that started the whole hair thing. He had the hair to shoulders thing.
That was he was there before Thor with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So he started the whole hair thing. Next thing you know, all the linebackers got long hair. Long hair became a whole thing. Like
his back, Clay would have it in his face. Yep.
Right.
I don't know. There's a safety out there that might have inspired long, beautiful hair. But
I think he always had it though.
He did always have it. You're right.
It's gray now though. Have you seen him lately?
I haven't. Seen
it's gray. He's getting old on us. There's some gray in it.
Yeah, he's embracing it.
That's fine. He still got the Head and Shoulders commercials.
Pay me.
Make your money, Troy. You know what I mean?
We'll take a Head and Shoulders on here. Go ahead.
Yep. All right, number 3. You go ahead and take number 3.
Number 3, I'm going with some history at USC, tapping into the heritage. This guy had a huge, mega successful NFL career and was extremely, obviously, impactful at USC. I'm going with Willie McGinnis.
All right, so I didn't put Willie McGinnis on this list.
Okay.
And
they coming for you this time. Take him down.
No.
Okay.
So Willie McGinnis played both at USC.
All right.
So he was between a linebacker and a defensive end. And so I was debating whether I put him on the D line or do I put him at linebacker.
Okay.
So I was saving Willie McGinnis for the defensive line.
Oh, you were saving him for it. Okay. So I got it. So now since he played both, he get love on both lists.
Yeah, he could get love on both, which is fine. So so you actually it was like internal debate. Like, do I use him here or do I use him at the defensive end spot? Like, where do you use him? So, I don't see anything wrong with that. That's your number 3.
That's my number 3.
All right, so that means we're on par with number 2. Your number 2 and number 1 are ours are probably going to be the same.
Yeah,
we can't be far
like it, and we didn't plan this. You guys, we're on different time zones. Okay.
Yeah, so like my number 3 is the guy that pretty much the point where SC had tremendous linebackers, He was the pinnacle of the best linebackers group out there. Learned from Lofa. Keith was older than him. Just vicious. He wasn't vicious. He wasn't vicious. He was reckless. I'll tell you this. We were at practice one time, and I seen him end a 5-star athlete with potential. He ended his career. After this dude hit him, he was never the same again.
Who was this? Who did he hit?
He hit Patrick Turner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
that's a string bean.
And that thing sounded like a car wreck. Like if you nobody was paying attention, and when this dude hit him at practice, everybody stopped because we thought it was a car wreck. One of the loudest shits I've ever heard in my life. My number 3 is Ray Maluga.
Well deserved.
Ray reckless. Ray was reckless on the field, and I'll tell you this: Ray was reckless to the point where he broke his arm. He broke his arm in Nebraska. They put him in a cast, and then like Sunday when we have to show up for like check-in or whatever, he didn't have the cast on. And the trainer's like, "Ray, where's your cast?" He's like, "Oh, I took it off. I didn't think I needed it anymore." And I was like, "No, your arm is broken. You need the cast."
Oh man, no. I mean, I've also seen, I'd say more of a playful side of him, being like in Galen and just being a kid, because I'm a little bit older. Not that means anything, but seeing him develop as a human, but also being able to just be out there and have no boundaries. Absolutely love to have a guy like that on your squad and on your team. And you know what I mean by your squad. When you headed to Leonardo's and it's going to pop off, he's on my squad.
And put it like, I'll tell you this. I will clear Ray's name. Ray is a good person.
Huge.
Ray is a good person. And the trouble that Ray got into, 80% of it was instigated. So, and I've been there in situations where like we had to grab Ray and like, Ray, no, it's not worth it. And like it was instigated. Like I've also been with places with Ray where Ray was like, I'm not driving to Carson. Here's my keys. I'm going to sleep in the locker room. You know what I mean? We have to run in the morning. Like Ray's a good person. You sit down and talk to Ray. He's a very good person. Like loves his family, loves his mom. He's from like way at the top of California, like Wairika or something like that in the sticks. But Ray is a good person, and Ray was a dog, and Ray was one of the best linebackers I've ever seen play.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And part of, I think, my husband always reminds me, I've never been in the trenches. I've only witnessed it. My relationship and my experiences are very different. But there is a part of having to be out there and to do, like, you're missing marbles. Anything on that defense, to be in the trenches, to, like, you in the backfield, like, wait, what? You trying to sack and blitz after there's something not all the way there. And that's what it's meant to be, because that's why you're, making plays. When you step out on there's no more hash marks and you on the cement, like it doesn't just go on and off. And sometimes those worlds can blur. And people that are civilians and barely have a membership at Planet Fitness that they never use need to have a better understanding of it is a difficult transition to go from the field to being a civilian.
No, 100%. I agree with that. Yeah, you're right about that one. And everybody wants to poke at you to see how tough they are. But they don't realize that we're in the weight room at 6:00 in the morning, power cleaning 225 pounds for 6 reps. Right? Like you're nothing in my life. But if I put my hands on you and you get the result of me putting my hands on you, then all of a sudden I'm a bad person.
And not to mention, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry that you're tuning into on Saturday nights, sometimes Thursday nights, January bowl games to watch players like him knock the head off a quarterback. Okay,
right, and like what they don't understand too, and I hate when people say this. That's just like Aaron Carter. We were kids. We're not doing the same thing we were doing when we were at SC. You know what I mean? Like we were between 19 and 23 years old. We were kids. Like so,
we in Los Angeles, California. Come on,
right?
Man.
Living life.
Staples Center, Kobe Bryant, R.I.P. Like what?
I walked from the Staples Center one time.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You know what? It was probably better than sitting in the car for 45 minutes.
I actually walked from downtown twice. I walked from the Medici one time, and then I walked from
the
and so you know what I was doing.
Orsini, shout out to the Bay Area Twins. Orsini.
You know what I was doing if I was walking from the Medici in the middle of the night. So
did you walk from the Medici, or did you walk from the 90 to the Medici?
I got a car ride to the Medici, and then when I was done, I walked back to Cardinal Gardens.
You was on Cardinal Gardens,
and then I walked back from Staples Center, but it was like the sun was still up. I went to go see a Laker game. I did. So Nick Young was on the Wizards at that time, and he
that's why you did.
Yeah, so Nick Young was on the Wizards at that time, and who the fuck? Carol C-Rod. So Carol and Nick used to date, and Carol was like, "Hey, Nick said he has an extra ticket. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "All right." He said,
"All right, Carol, that was my roommate. You didn't invite me to the game."
And so he was like, she was like, "All right, it'll be at Will Call. Just go to Will Call, and the ticket will be there." I was like, "Cool." So I went and watched the Wizards and the Lakers play, and I was like, "Damn, I need a ride home." Didn't even think about that. And you know the campus cars. I forgot the name of that. Those gray cars that used to take us everywhere around campus.
Oh yeah.
I forgot. They didn't go all the way to the Staples Center, so I was like, I'm just gonna walk. Like, oh, I'm in shape. Like, I'll just walk. So I'll walk from the Staples Center all the way to Cardinal Gardens. No problem.
You must have had some liquid courage. You know what you could have used with some athletic greens. That'd have been a nice.
It would have got me there with no problem, energy and everything.
Waking up the next morning fully recovered.
Yep. So we're moving on to the top 2 all-time linebackers in USC history.
Top 2.
I'm gonna let you go with your number 2.
Okay. So again, I'm being 100. I did a lot of research on this. I got with some very reliable multiple national champion sources, and I had only USC Butkus Award winner. I didn't even know. I would assume with our linebacker, and our strong defense, I shouldn't have to fact check that. I'm pretty positive. And I'm going with Chris Claiborne.
That's my number 2 also.
That's your number 2?
Yep. So we have the same number 1.
So we have the same number 1.
We have the same number 1.
I don't know what your number 1, but I'm pretty sure it's the same one.
And they're from the same city. And so It's interesting. So when I looked at it, I thought they played with each other, and they didn't play with each other. So Chris Claiborne is like 2 years after. I'm my number 1. I'm assuming you're number 1.
Yeah.
Chris Claiborne was different. And if I'm not mistaken, I think, hold on, I want to look and see, because I don't want to get this wrong, because I think he was a giant. All right, no, he was only 6'3". But for some reason he looked like he was like 6'5" when he played.
It might have been them 90s pads. You know what I mean? Everybody
That's what it might. That's true. And they play with they play with the Sharks, and like downhill killer, like old school I formation football. He's taking on blocks. That's interesting that he was the only Buckets Award winner. I can understand why Cush and Ray all them didn't win the Buckets, because they like, who do you give it to? Right? That's the one time where you're like, all right, out of all 4 of these guys, who do you give it to? Yeah, but for sure. Him being the only Buckets Award winner at USC is interesting. That's
very interesting. And the 2, Darnell Bing and Kenneth Udeze, had him on his list, and one of them mentioned that, and I was like, man, because I was really grappling, like, hey, I want to have a clear understanding, and these are guys I know and trust. And I was very surprised about that. I'm like, really? But in my mind, I guess when we walk down and we see all these posters, and we see all those awards, I guess I never really honed in on it.
Yeah, that is interesting, because I would figure my number 1 had that, but I guess not. But that is so. Chris Claiborne, straight dog, take on the power, take on lead, take on the ISO, made tackles. I thought he was like 6'5", but like you said, it might have been the 90s pads. But he looked like a giant when he played.
Yeah, but I think like the proportion, like he was solid and filled out. He was filled at the top plus the pad. So when you look at images, like Google him right now, if you're looking, you'll see he looks monstrous. He's not like short, compact, like big pads. Nah, he looks like he's filling them. Right.
So yeah, that's actually a good fact. You're making it for last week so people could get off your case about Lindell.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Did you tell Darnell and Kenichi about who you said your all-time running back was?
Yeah.
And what did they say?
Great. They're like, C-Ray. No. I said, and then Desmond was like, C-Ray, you put me on the list. I said, hell yeah, I put you on the list. I know that work that you did. I know the backflips that you was doing. You were doing that. If there was NIL and money for you to be earned then, you would be just as popular. You led I don't know what you guys call it, but after you win the game and you get on top of the ladder and you got the sword and you do that thing.
Yeah, it's a salute. Like,
salute
it's a salute to Troy.
Okay. He did that like all the time.
Yeah. So I will tell you this. So our little logo or whatever, when I had this logo made, I was like, it has to be the inside of the Coliseum where the flame is. And when they first sent it, I was like, you have to have the stairs because we always came down the stairs.
Yeah.
Like you have to put the stairs on there. So like there's a little history behind that, but that's where we go over to the corner and then after the game do the fight song and yeah. So
yeah. I
mean, nothing against
at that point. I'm just a fan watching, but
yeah.
Doesn't really
you waiting for the game to be over so we can meet you at the 2990 or Leonardo. Hey! Like, let's go. I will tell you.
I wonder if it's even popping like that. I just feel like USC's a little bit more polished than it was.
The 90 still is. The 90
still is. Grimy like that?
It's not grimy anymore. They renovated it.
I saw the outside look renovated. I'm kind of disappointed. Frosty Rucker to the 9-0.
I don't know if the 2-9 is still there. I don't know. I don't know if it's still there. I will tell you this: the 2-9 was where you learn to be an alcoholic because they give you those $5 picture margaritas in a straw.
bro. I'm a bit spoiled now. I don't even think I've driven to. I did drive USC. Now I do the Uber because I'm like it's the campus isn't what it was. Like you could just walk freely. Now it's a whole metropolis there.
Yeah. And so it's getting bigger. I'll tell you offline. I don't want to put it on here. I'll tell you offline. Right. I could get in trouble with work because
there we go.
I don't want to get in trouble with work.
We need a black man to keep his job. Just
all right. So we're at number one. I'm gonna let you do your.
we're gonna say it at the same time.
I'm gonna do my number one because your number ones are shockers. So I'm gonna do my number one.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, you do the number one.
So my number one, like I said, same town as Junior Seau, a little bit before him.
No,
I mean, Chris. I just said my number one. My number one is Junior Seau.
You said it. You're so excited.
Yeah, my number one is Junior Seau, right? A little bit before Chris Claiborne, Junior Seau. So like I said, well, OJ, when you think about who set the standard and has that standard been reset, I don't think it has because like nobody's ever played up to Junior Seau standard. We know great pro career, but what he did at USC, like that thing was just amazing. Just on the field, he was a reckless monster. I never had the opportunity to meet him. I don't think I ever met anybody that played with him, but Junior Seau, he set the standard for a USC linebacker. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, so hands down, the all-time linebacker at USC, in my opinion, would be Junior Seau.
That was unanimous among all of my national champions that I outsourced today. And there wouldn't be a list without him for sure. And then obviously having a tremendous career in the NFL, which I think is tough when we're trying to pick players. We don't want too much of what their NFL career to weigh in, but to have that consistency to be a huge impact player, ferocious on the field as a college player, as you're learning and you're developing, and then to continue that and carry that on to the NFL. And one of, I say, definitely most challenging outside of what's going on in the trenches. So, yeah.
No, 100%. And Junior Seau is a good example, and I'm gonna go to this, man. Like Marshawn said, man, make sure you get your shit checked, dude. Like he was battling some stuff, make sure you get your shit checked. He was battling stuff at a time when it wasn't good to express it, and that was the result of it. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate. Now, like if you have an issue, go talk. I will tell you this: I've lost at least 2 teammates with that issue. When one of them was the SC guy, you know what I mean? Like, go get checked. Go talk to somebody. Like, go talk to somebody. That is my one message. Like, there's nothing wrong with going to talk to somebody. Like, We all have issues. Some people know how to deal with them. Some people don't. If you don't know how to deal with them, go talk to somebody and get help dealing with them. Like, just get it taken care of. Don't leave on your terms. Leave on God's terms. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, and your help doesn't have to be like with some scripted licensed professional. And I'm not at all knocking the profession. I'm saying that it's important to speak with someone that you connect with. It might be your thing to speak to a stranger, someone that you don't feel judgments or criticisms or ashamed or embarrassed. Those challenges are real. As we talked about, I mean, being very candid, I am married to a former nose tackle in the NFL. So I'm well aware with teammates and wives and the reality of the challenges that they face. And, being the football player, not just the football player, but any man, like the stigma associated with it, that you're soft or you're a simp. You're actually a lot stronger when you can admit what's going on and reflect and be ready to make some change, even though it's a challenge.
Right. And even if you're worried about the stigma, then don't tell nobody you're doing it, but go talk to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, There's nothing wrong with going to. That was our public service announcement. Yep. We are at tier number 1. Who is your number 1?
Me?
Yeah, you said Junior
Sal.
Oh, so you're unanimous. That's disappointing. Unanimous. I was waiting for. You can't talk to Darnell, Dez, or Kenichi anymore. I want your list.
And you know what? They were in my back pocket. And tonight, for all those that don't know, I do coach elite track athletes. I'm doing some football players now, which I'm really excited about. Anyways, they are always my. They solidify me and give me stripes. When I'm out there coaching 40s and I'm talking about, it's a Hail Mary, you want to be, and they be like, who you texting? Who you talking? And I'm like, I'm solidified. This sound off of Wikipedia, YouTube cone drills. I actually know what I'm talking about. I just wanted to let the viewers, the listeners know that I am reputable. And I'm still a female. So yeah, there is some emotion based. When I seen these guys slid me food in the Galen Center when there was no everybody eat for free NCAA. Okay. These my guys.
The game.
Shout out to Desi Darnell Bing, PhD, Dr. Bing. That's what we should call him.
Yeah, that's Dr. Bing now. That's Dr. right.
Bing to those.
Darnell actually lives like 15 minutes from me. I should hit him up. I have his number and everything. I should hit him up.
Whack, Yeah, matter of fact, let me text him. I'm gonna text him.
Text him. So the thing about, I will tell you this about Darnell. Darnell went to Poly too. He's just 4 years older than me. So when I got there, he graduated. So, but like with the Poly connection, the USC connection, that's like how that works. Same thing with Herschel. Herschel and Darnell are classmates.
An honorable mention on ours.
Well, yeah.
Send it to me. Just want to let Darnell Bing, Dr. Darnell Bing, that Mr. Rowe isn't connected. He's not family for life.
We were supposed to go golfing. I need to hit him up. I'm gonna hit him up and be like, "Hey, Candice is gonna be pissed at me because I haven't hit you up. We're supposed to go golfing." Yeah.
Hey, and I'll just be real. I thought Darnell Bing was a linebacker. He corrected me myself. And I was like, I got Darnell Bing. I got Brian Cushion. I got Clay Matthews. He's like, nah, C-Ray, I wasn't a linebacker. I was a safety. I was like, dagger to the chest.
Yeah. We should do safeties. We'll do safeties after. We'll do safeties after we do, because next week we just did linebackers. So next week we'll do O-line. Okay. Because we'll save quarterbacks till the end. We should have saved running backs to the end, but we'll save quarterbacks to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. I don't even need to do no research on that one, but I'm ready for all that's coming with me.
Nah, you need to do research on that one.
Okay. I mean, because I'm going to be doing some personal research.
There's some quarterbacks that came through SC.
Just a few.
Yeah. It's kind of like running backs. Quarterbacks and running backs are pretty.
I wouldn't know. And again, I'm on the same page with it is about the running backs. Like, there were guys I talked about, like John David Booty, like, bro, had you just stayed in Louisiana, life would have been different for you.
Don't put JD on your list. I'm telling you that right now.
Huh?
Don't put JD on your list. Don't put JD on your list. Not even he could be honorable mention, but don't put JD on your list. Don't put JD on your list. And when you think of it, let me think about it. Maybe I'm about to say I don't even think Matt and Carson is number 1.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go look at the quarterbacks that came through SC.
So you're saying I need to look deeper than my era? Yeah,
you have to look, like, go look, and you're like,
okay,
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Maybe.
I'm up for the challenge. We got some weeks for that.
We do. We got. So we'll schedule it right now. We'll do next week. We'll do O-line. That's going to be a good one. There's a lot of good O-linemen that came. So tackles, guards, centers. A lot of good O-linemen that came through. After O-line, we'll go to defensive line.
Defensive
Yeah,
line.
we'll go to defensive line, and then we'll.
Have you done wide receivers?
We done wide receivers. We'll do safeties because there's safeties that came through. We'll do O-line, D-line, and then we'll do defense back to back this one time, and we'll finish it with quarterbacks, and then after quarterbacks, we will do our top 22 players. So we'll pick a position at each.
Why'd you pick 22?
Because there's 11 on defense, 11 on offense.
Oh, I like that. That makes sense.
So we'll do our top 22 players.
Okay.
And we'll pick our positions and we'll put people there, and then we'll do our all-time USC team.
Dang.
So where are you gonna put Lindell? We know who your starting running back is. So you do 21.
So when what's interesting is I wonder if the order of a player could change in the overall scheme versus the individual scheme. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Because when I think of Lindell as the number one running back, but when I think of Reggie, like he slid out and was doing some receiver stuff. So then you think of what an overall contribution.
No, Reggie does not go to receiver. Reggie stays at running back. I saw what you were doing there. But you can't do that. Reggie stays at running back. Reggie's a running back. So you got to go. You got to go receiver.
Oh, so they got to. Okay.
So you get, if you want to do 11. We're not doing fullback, so maybe you can. Maybe we'll talk about it.
Lee Webb on my list.
Oh, Lee Webb, you're right. Or Ryan Padro, Powie.
All right. I'm gonna start putting him on my whiteboard. I'm gonna put him on.
Yeah, start thinking about that. Because,
and it's just different. If you have really experienced the culture in the different universities, like you're right. I grew up here. Michigan football, I know it. Ohio football, I know it enough to hate it in the sense that, but respect him, because at USC, the way that we are connected is not the same as it is in other universities. And that dynamic plays a huge part, I feel like, on why our teams, especially the string of Rose Bowl and national championships, are successful. And I'll just be 100. When I first returned back to campus, I just didn't have that same feel. When the locker room, I just kind of felt like we was out there grinding, and now they got the displays to get into the thing. They got golf simulators and sign up for massage.
We did all that. That's because of us.
I'm saying so. I do now see it being rebuilt. I think that
I would do it like this. You can either, when we do it, you can either pick 2 running backs or 3 receivers. So if you go with 3 receivers, you can only pick 1 running back. If you go 2 running backs, you can only pick 2 receivers. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna have fun with that one. My guy, Carson Palmer was right before I left, and I had everybody from Carson and in between to Matt Barkley, just like everyone in between.
All right. So look, I'm just gonna throw some names out there.
Okay.
Ronnie Pete, Tom Marinovich, right? You got Matt and Carson. And you got other quarterbacks in between.
I am. I'm gonna do some digging. I want to shock him again. Like, she's not gonna say it. I'm gonna do it.
I'm texting Darnell right now. He said, "Hey, she just sent me y'all YouTube. I haven't checked it out yet, but she said she wanted to Instagram grain with her running back selection." Yeah. All right. I'll hit Darnell up later. I'll finish that talk later. Definitely. Hey, so next week we'll do O-lineman, right? Okay. We'll do O-lineman next week. Dig into that one, because that one's today's Thursday. So we'll either do Thursday. We'll either do Thursday or Wednesday. Whatever works for you. You're a busy woman.
Yeah, Thursday works good because Friday's a regional championship. So
no, we won't ever do Friday. Friday's weekend. We enjoy our time together.
Okay, perfect. So Thursday nights work good because it's the day before regional championship, so it'll be a light day for me.
All right, good deal. So O-line next week. Candice, has been fun. It's always been fun. We'll get with it. This has been the Bit O-line. Salute to Troy. podcast. You know the saying, live free, fight on. We'll see y'all next week.